integrate the strength of so many faces shall be the prospects of our faith. So in this moment of history, tell it in every community, our nation is born. Colonialism is gone. This is a time of national freedom, so share our love with someone. The 27th dawn of October, our nation is born. One history, one ecstasy, one destiny for all the we. While we take this stand as a nation, let us not forget our past. For this future we praise our heroes who fought slavery to the last. Special honors to Marcus Garvey, his sacrifice gave us all a chance. And all the men who fought in this century to bring us this day of independence. So in this moment of history, tell it in every community, our nation is born. Colonialism is gone. Now this is a time of national freedom, so yeah, I love it someone, the 27th dawn of October, our nation is born. One history, one ecstasy, one destiny, for all the we. Though some manipulate the franchise of world adult suffrage, there's still hope of a bright tomorrow for all the underprivileged. Let love excel our wishes, our advancement needs plenty of work. Remember, back is death for the nation that upholds less action and lots of talk. In this moment of history, tell it in every community, our nation is born. Colonialism is gone. Now this is a time of national freedom, so share love with someone. The 27th dawn of October, our nation is born. One history, one ecstasy, one destiny for all of we. My people join hand in hand now. Put your differences aside. Get your hearts and souls together. We got to build this nation with pride. Work in harmony with good leaders. Never elect no one here to rule. Then we can feel at home like good comrades. Our people must not be election tools. So in this moment of history, tell it in every community, our nation is born. Colonialism is gone. Now this is a time of national freedom, so share our love with someone, the 27th dawn of October, our nation is born. One history, one ecstasy, one destiny for all the we.
Canataline, the Vibrating Skakes. Some call it the Independence Anthem here for SVG. On Call Our Nation is Born. 7:31 it is, of course, here on a Monday morning. It's time for us to share the morning with you. It's time for us to get interactive here on the Stars. We step into the morning scoop. Good morning to one and all. Certainly making your journey, making your travels, heading on to the JOB, locking it in here on a Monday morning. And always a pleasure to have you here. A.D. Anthony Denny, that's me alongside the brother Cian Marshall. How was the weekend?
Quiet, restful,
quiet.
All those wonderful things. Quiet, restful, peaceful,
eatful, drinkful. Those are not real words, so don't use those words.
Well, if it was drinkful and eatful for you, nobody can tell you it in a word, but lad. But yeah, I had a very restful and quiet weekend. And ready for this week. the week, Independence Week, the week in which our anniversary of independence falls, and we'll be celebrating
Yep.
this Friday. So I'm looking forward for this week. Plenty, plenty, plenty. Let me say good morning to those individuals who jumped on the live and said good morning, like Doreen and Faith, Anika, Caddy, Val, George, Phyllis, Patricia, who are all there. There's more. Yeah, Kojo, Bill. Yes, all those individuals who jumped on and said good morning, good day to you wherever you are. Kojo boy, it's 4:30, so you're up early.
Mhm.
But that's I don't know how you do it, but I'm happy that you do it, so I gotta big you up for doing it. It's a beautiful Monday morning. Denny, we had
It
some
is.
showers over the weekend, lots of showers up north.
Welcome showers, I should say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, despite the fact that, of course, it happened based on the passage of Hurricane Tammy, which I understand would have, dealt some blow in the Leeward Islands. We might have had a little land slippage here and there, but outside of that, I didn't hear anything.
You see how Tammy stopped?
What time
Because
is
she come from bottom tongue, she beat up Leeward.
She beat up
She
Leeward.
beat, you see Delta Blue on Leeward
Oh,
Island.
that.
So Tammy, what Tammy need to understand is that bottom tongue is also Leeward, eh? Bottom tongue is on the Leeward side of the island. So if you're beating up the Leewards, bottom tongue getting licks too, right? So just watch it.
All right.
But yeah, there was some effect, greater impact on the northern islands
All right.
of our region, and so we are in solidarity with those islands. I know this morning I was hearing that there's a possibility of land slippage and landslides, especially in the Maracay area. But the reports were saying that Braxa was already, or heavy equipment was already on the ground doing some clearing and so forth. So that's a good thing. Just to caution motorists on their way in to please be careful, drive carefully, look out for those obstructions, obstacles in the road, and be safe. Because I see something on
Wow.
yeah,
Well, yeah.
Friday night or Saturday night, wherever it happened.
I believe it was Saturday
I'm
night.
talking Final Destination type accident.
Mm.
I mean,
You only see those in the movies.
that's what I'm saying. There's something like that where the truck went onto the vehicle went onto and took off people's heads, and that's exactly what came to my mind. Like if a car runs under a trailer, taking off the roof of the car, essentially, the occupants of that car were in serious danger for head injuries and
Yep.
possibly even death.
Yep.
I don't know what the specifics of the incident are, but I reach out to the family, to those involved in this incident and their family, in the accident and their family, and I hope that they are all well. I hope even if they may have, because I'm not sure, sustained injuries, I wish them a speedy recovery. I hope that they will recuperate well. I hope they're not suffering any life-threatening injuries, and even if injured, that their injuries would heal properly, and they wouldn't have any major residual effects of that injury lifelong. So I'm just wishing all those individuals well. But at the same time, you have to caution people too. As I said, I don't know what happens. I'm not accusing this particular driver or the occupants of this car to be in anything at all. I'm just saying that we need to be careful. All right, we need to be careful on the roads. We need to always drive carefully. Things can happen. That's why they call accidents. So you have to do your best to prevent, mitigate against any accidents. Somebody could run into you, yes, you understand, but do your part.
Well said. Well, this morning, of course, Prime Minister Dr. Al Gonzalez will have a press briefing at the Cabinet Room, where he will bring the nation up to date on matters with regards to national issues. Of course, Star FM will be there to bring to you live coverage. It will be also live on the API's platform, NBC Radio, and of course, PC3, channel 114, and on their Facebook pages. All right, so check it out, and
Yep.
we're gonna bring it to you here on the Star.
Definitely. That he has a lot to say. By the way, Franklin, Rochelle, Topsail, Darky, Nerissa, good morning as well. You guys jumped on a little later, but that's all right. He has a lot to say.
Hmm.
He has plenty to say. he was on Issue at Hand yesterday, and he said a bit, but at least today, because there's a difference, with him going on Issue at Hand, going on a talk program, being interviewed and giving lots of information, as he does when he calls at Star sometimes, or when he goes on NBC Radio. But a press briefing allows the press to engage him and ask specific questions, even questions not discussed by him, mentioned by him during his presentation, but issues that are of national importance, national interest. So that gives him the opportunity to have a much broader discussion, engaged by the press, where questions can be asked and so forth. That is a whole different dimension that a press conference brings, that isn't necessarily available when he's on VFM or on NBC Radio and so on, even though people can call and ask questions as well. Because, generally speaking, when most people who call because they want to address him directly and personally.
That's true.
They're trying to reach him, they're trying to get to the office, or a CEO, or there's a matter where I deal with for me. Those engagements are sometimes a lot more direct and a lot more personal than would be a press conference. So we encourage all of you, as many as possible, to log on, tune in, and get the information directly from this country's prime minister. That is something, Denny, that while it is new, it is not new. And they go say, "What's you're going to talking about this Monday morning?" Like, I always say rested, but it's like it's still sleepy. It is new in that we never had that from any other government. We never had that. Press conferences, this level of openness and transparency, this level of regular interaction with the public by the prime minister, regular interaction with the press. You never had that. But it's not new because Dr. Gonzalez has been doing this from the time he became prime minister, from the time the UL came into office. They've been meeting the press, having regular press conferences, hundreds. So 1 second. Okay, yeah. So this is nothing new, while at the same time it's extremely new. So we encourage you to log on and tune in to this the press conference. Now, just before I go any further, I have to say happy birthday and happy belated anniversary to Mrs. Kimlin Lewis out at Orange Hill. Always locked on to Star. And so I have to big her up on, Kimlin Wilson. Where's the guy Lewis from? Kimlin Wilson out at Orange Hill. So today's about yesterday was our anniversary. So congratulate on our anniversary, our wedding anniversary, and happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I can't sing. Happy birthday to you. Trust that you have a fantastic one coming from the entire family circle. And whatever you're cooking, however lime you're having, please invite me. Don't leave me out, please now. Mrs. Wilson, yeah? Oh, that Orange Hill. All the best to you today on your birthday and belated anniversary. All right. Yes. Denny, I got a call over the weekend. And this is indicating to us that there is some unease. Got a call over the weekend from a CBI country.
Mm-hmm.
The individual is an independent journalist in that country hosting a program. And somebody here, I don't know, gave him my number. And they want to talk. They have a program. They want 2 weeks from now and they want to discuss St. Vincent's position on CBI because they know that we've been very strong, very consistent on our stance, on our policy with regard to the existing version of citizen by investment. And I want us to understand when I say the existing version, because citizen by investment is a thing, but the way it is practiced in some territories and the way it will be implemented in St. Vincent and the Grenadines if the NDP were to win would be basically selling of passports.
That's it.
Right? Because let us be real. Individuals can acquire citizenship in a country through different pathways. You can anyway, I'll get to the pathways and the discussion just now, but just to say, so this person is saying, I want you to come. Our country is involved in CBI, but your country isn't. But however, when you look at the stats, your country ain't doing any worse than our country. As a matter of fact, it might be arguably doing better than our country. So I want you to come on and discuss, especially in light of the new EU move, the new move out of the European Union to try and make the CBI program a reason for visa suspension, for visa waiver suspension. Now, no, it's CBT and not CBI. It's CBT.
What's the T for?
Transaction, citizenship by transaction. I don't know. Oh my Lord! I tell you, there is a. But the truth is, like I was saying, one can acquire citizenship of a country through different pathways based on the laws and the constitution of that country. So there is, outside, of course, of the regular citizen, because you're born citizen by birth, there we know is citizenship by marriage. You marry to a citizen of a country, and most countries in the world I'm aware of allow the spouse of the citizen to be able to apply for citizenship based on that union, based on the marriage. There are also situations where somebody may be a resident of a country. You may probably going on a work visa, and as you work there, you follow the process. You pay your taxes. When your visa is up, you apply for another one. So you're there maybe 5, 6, 8 years, and the law may allow for individuals resident in a country over a certain period to be able to, through a process, become citizens. So you're here. You may not marry, but you may be here long enough. You get your alien landholding license. You buy a property, or you build a property. You're here. You're working. You happen to be here is a project, and you go from one project to the next project, or what have you, or you have a special skill that your employer here requires, and so you keep getting that work permit. And after a couple of years, whether all I says 7 years or 11 years or whatever it is, you then apply for your citizenship. Your citizenship of St. Vincent and Grenadines based on that. And then there's the idea of a citizenship by investment, where you come to St. Vincent and Grenadines, you make an investment, sizable investment, but also because when you're here, you come, your investment may require land, so you have your alien land holding license, you buy your land and so forth. You have your investment, and you develop a relationship of citizen with St. Vincent and Grenadines through that investment that you've made. You live here, you're running your business, you're paying your taxes. But remember, the investment is not the reason you're applying for citizenship. The investment may be the reason you're here. You understand what I'm saying? The investment may not be the reason that you're applying for citizenship. It may be the reason that you're here. And as you're here, you have developed the relationship of citizenship because you fulfill the other criteria of the law. You've been here for 7 years, you've this, and so on and so on. And so, having fulfilled all of those requirements, you apply. And the review body look at them, check the boxes. You check all the boxes. You live here long enough. You this, you that, and your application can be approved. But based on the letter that we read, the report that we read then, and I hope you pull it up already, because last week the EU report. Based on the report that we read last week, this is not the case in a number of the countries, at least the 5 countries that the EU has a problem with. The EU has a problem with those countries because those countries are essentially selling citizenship. They're marketing citizenship. And in too many instances, the applicants and recipients of the citizenship, of the citizenship and the passport subsequently, have never set foot on these islands. So where is the relationship of citizen? The passport is a sign of the relationship. The passport is a sign of the relationship. If you do not have the relationship, how and why should you have the passport, which is a sign of the relationship? So you're skipping out everything, but you get the sign. It's like a marriage now. Some people do it the hard way. The hard way, which is the regular way. You meet somebody, you're courting, and I know many young people in the world, they're courting for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You endure all of the insults, and they don't like me from the in-laws. Mommy don't like you because you come text you one daughter, or mommy don't like you because she's son bright and anyway to come something good, and you just come go take with the woman's son and so on. You endure all of that. You build the relationship. You get married. You get the ring. You get the name. Beautiful. The ring is a sign of the relationship that exists between you and your spouse. But some people figure they could come, buy somebody data, pay some money, and married. But there's no relationship. There's no relationship. So the EU has a challenge with the fact that these schemes, as they are referred to, these schemes do not rather focus on the building of a relationship of citizen between the country and the applicant, but rather it's the sale of a facility to enable the applicant to do things they would not be able to do with their own citizenship. And what according to the EU is their biggest problem is the fact that some of these individuals who are acquiring their newfound citizenship are acquiring a newfound freedom that they would not have with their own citizenship. And in the advertisement of the facility, the facility, the facility that could you imagine that? Could you imagine citizenship is a facility and not a relationship? Could you imagine citizenship being a facility and not a relationship? And so the passport is the product of the facility. Some of the beneficiaries of this facility are allowed to change their identities. Some of the beneficiaries of the facility, it's like a loan. It has become a loan. You go by the bank, you get a loan. It's a facility, a credit, an overdraft. Some of the beneficiaries of the facility, according to the EU, are allowed to change their identity even before they get the product, which is the passport of the facility. They can change their identity immediately. Immediately. And that worries the EU. That troubles the EU. Why would you want to change your why would you want to change your identity? Tell me. If tomorrow, for some reason, I decide to apply for citizenship of the US, I wouldn't get through because I don't tick the box. But let's just say it were possible to apply for citizenship to the US or Canada or Germany or England, wherever. I am going to apply as Seon Marshall because that's who I am. Why would I want to change who I am? Why would I want to change who I am? But that is something that the EU noticed is popping up in the citizen by investment programs by some countries, by some islands, and it is a cause for concern for them. They don't understand what is going on. And they say that is presenting some security issues and concerns for the EU. So they're saying, no, listen, it seems that we have to make CBI a reason for visa waiver suspension. Once you're a CBI country, we're going to suspend the visa waiver. Now, like we discussed last week, many of the countries in the region that provide this facility have a problem because they're saying, but you're doing it to in your country. Well, I don't know. Here's the difference. I don't know how many individuals are trying to buy passports to the EU to come to live in St. Vincent to get to the region. You follow? I don't know how many people from countries are buying European Union passports so they could come to our region. But I could tell you, a vast majority of the people who buy our regional passports are looking to do so to go to places like the EU. So it's okay if they sell passports to people to come in their country. But why are you selling passports to people so that they could come to their country and explicitly advertising that fact as a bonus? Eyeball body, eyeball bad.
You know, I got some important information here and some concerns with regards to the EU. Now, last week we shared info with regards to the number of golden passports issued by Dominica, 34,500. St. Kitts, Nevis, somewhere in the region of 36,000 thereabout. Dominica having a population of what? Just over 70,000.
Mm-hmm.
And St. Kitts with a population of just over 48,000. Right? Now, research has shown that Dominica is yet to report nearly 27,000 of the names of those golden passports, up to between 2009 and 2018, only 7,700 reported. Right? And this quite naturally creates concern because the Commission is proposing to overhaul regulations saying it is concerned golden passports could be enabling the infiltration of organized crime, money laundering, tax evasion, and corruption. Serious crimes,
Yep.
And it wants the power to suspend the visa exemption for countries that sell citizenship to buyers who do not have, listen to this, a genuine link to the country. Genuine link.
Let's be talking about the relationship. The relationship, the genuine link. What's the link? You've been living here and working here for 5 years, for 7 years. You have a house here. You have a girlfriend here with a child. Some link. But if you never touch foot on the place, what is your link? At least find a business. Find an entrepreneur. And there are many of them here, small businesses. Buy some shares in them, buy some equity in them. Come here, meet the owner, help them.
Nah, they're not interested.
Nah, they're not interested in
CBT.
that.
The rest, I agree with you. CBT, citizenship by transaction.
And why are they why are they coming to buy the passport? To get to somebody else's country. So we are essentially or a CBI country. Let me put it differently, because then he asked me what kind of we are talking about. The CBI country essentially becomes the gateway to the EU, to the US.
Before we move on, listen to this. The sale of passports in Dominica surged after 2015, when citizens of a number of Caribbean states were given permission to travel to most EU member states for 90 days a year without a visa. St. Kitts reached agreement on visa-free travel with the EU in 2009. Overall, the EU has visa-free travel agreements with 60 countries. So you see what's going on right there?
Yep.
A surge in
And
these
so
applications.
that explains why St. Kitts has sold so many.
Yeah.
Because they've had visa-free since 2009. By the way, they gotta big up St. Kitts and the work that they did diplomatically to be able to get that so early, because we only got it along with other countries in the region, OECS, in 2015.
Right.
So St. Kitts has had that gateway to the EU for a long time. I remember traveling to the EU for the first time. I believe it was in 2010, and I had to get the Schengen visa. As a matter of fact, between 2010 and 2014, I probably had to get about 3 or 4 Schengen visas going to the EU. And quick story. This is no joke. You can ask Richard. In 2014, when I was going to Germany, I was studying in Azerbaijan. I was some vacation, so I say, let me run to Germany for a few days. I applied first for the Schengen visa, and I was turned down. I was turned down. The German embassy in Baku turned me down. But as I read the document they gave me, the process allows for an appeal. So I wrote a 2-page appeal letter, 2 pages, and I outlined about 7 or 8 reasons why the refusal was sort of it didn't make sense. One was the fact that I've been to the EU 3 times with Schengen visa, never overstayed. So there's a record. The other one was I have a US visa. I could go to America. We never overstay. We just talk English, we don't talk German. Why would I come to Germany and not the US? I can travel to the UK without visa. I've been going to and from the UK, never had a problem. And the final point I made was the fact that the EU had already announced that the following year they were going to remove visa restrictions. And this refusal goes against the very principle I use, very spirit of that agreement. They called me the next day for the visa. Come in, asked Richard, and I was able to go to Germany. So we had that visa-free travel since 2015, and the stats indicate, based on what you just read, Demi, that was the time when Dominica surged as well.
Exactly.
So it shows that the intentions of the passport buyers ain't to come to Dominica and establish a relationship of citizenship. It's to get to other people's countries. And you notice that those individuals who are driven by statistics and have the technology to track and so forth are telling you the kind of individuals who are getting these passports, who are applying for these passports, and who are trying to come to the EU. So, in the same way, some politicians here decided that they were going to assist criminals to go to Canada by writing letters and so on for them. Essentially, that is what that's what the EU, rather, is accusing CBI countries of doing. Aiding criminals through the selling of passports and the ability to switch their identities to come to their countries and for the criminal activities. Now, One of the things that we have to make clear, and Prime Minister has made this clear many, many times. He was on Good Morning St. Lucia a few weeks ago, and it was an amazing program. Lucians loved it. Our non-acceptance or our decision to not get involved in CBI in the manner that it is done in the region is not a criticism of any government's adoption of that plan. They are all sovereign governments, and they are able to run their countries, develop whatever policies they want to based on the mandate given by the electorate. So when St. Vincent and the Grenadines says we're not getting involved in selling passport, it is not a criticism of any of the other countries that currently has that policy. No. You do your thing, we do ours. In the same way, our decision to continue the establishing of our relationship with Taiwan, that has nothing to do with the other countries of CARICOM. I think of the 14 member states, is 4 of us who recognize Taiwan. The other 10 that recognize China. That's not a criticism. That's your choice. That's you developing your foreign policy based on the best interests of your country. Incidentally, I'm not sure if the NDP and Godwin Friday understands what is. I saw somebody on Facebook on the non-answer given by Dr. Friday in Toronto, like at the Big Light, saying it's a very powerful answer. What answer? What answer? But our decision to remain with Taiwan, in the same way that St. Lucia has, Belize has, and St. Kitts and Nevis has, the four independent member states of CARICOM that recognize Taiwan. Our own decision, our policy decision, foreign policy decision, is not a criticism of anybody any country that wants to recognize mainland China at the expense of Taiwan. So we can talk about St. Vincent and Grenadines policy as a sovereign nation, and this government's insistence that we aid selling passports. And when we talk about it, our discussion may reach other lands, and citizens of those lands may see our point of view and may agree with our point of view. Some may not. But even so, even if they say, boy, not making sense, as was the case when Dr. Gonzalez was on Good Morning St. Lucia, you saw the comments, Lucian saying, words of wisdom. Now, here's the thing about St. Lucia, Dominica, St. Kitts, Nevis, Antigua, Barbuda. As I am aware, it doesn't matter the government, because St. Lucia has changed governments a few times within the last 20 years, and the program exists. So when somebody says, words of wisdom, I may be tempted to say, well, it's because they're anti-government. But no, because their party, when in government, does the same thing. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that is clear. You go to St. Kitts and Nevis, for example, both governments keep that policy. The Harris government did it before. The Douglas government did it before that. Dr. Drew's administration is currently doing it. So if somebody think it's boy, I agree with Simmons and that boy. I can't say, well, it's because they ain't supporting the government, because when their party gets into office, their party continues the policy. So the countries of the region, I've not known of any of the countries in the region where the opposition party campaigns and says, if we win, we would discontinue the citizenship by investment program. Seems that both parties, or the parties involved, the political parties, all embrace it as a policy. The only place where there is a clear distinction in that policy between the major political parties, between the government and opposition, is in Mason Granny. The only place. You know for a fact, if you vote the ULP, there will be no selling of passports. But if you vote the NDP, there will be selling of passports. And all of the issues and challenges that some of the countries face, as outlined by document after document in the EU and proposals and after proposals in the EU, would now become our challenges as well. Because even though we have a CARICOM passport, it's individualized. And so unlike EU, where there is a unified foreign policy, a unified agriculture policy, and I believe a unified telecom policy in the EU. So that is why the EU has a position on office called the High Representative for, I don't think it's foreign policy, it's called. But the EU has a bit of a foreign minister. I'll research the name of the position. But it's the High Representative. It starts as the High Representative for Foreign Affairs, I believe it's called. That's because they have a unified foreign policy. We don't. So as it comes, that is why some of us in CARICOM, with the CARICOM passport, some of us recognize China, some of us recognize Taiwan. That is why there are different actions between Venezuela and Nicaragua and so on, because we do our own foreign policy. And so our passport is similar, it's individualized, although there is a CARICOM situation. So when a country does something with the EU regarding their passport, it affects all EU countries. With St. Vincent and the Grenadines, with the CARICOM situation, they can individualize it. So some countries can, look, for example, some countries in CARICOM require visas to go to the UK, and some do not, with the same CARICOM passport. So our situation is one where we have to, when we make decisions on foreign policy, we have to make it understanding that it can affect us alone as a member of CARICOM and nobody else. And so this issue of passport sales, is a very important one. Very important one. Yes, I was correct. It's the High Representative of Foreign Affairs. That's like the EU's foreign minister, even though other countries are their foreign ministers as well. This issue, as we've said on this program many times, there are two issues, many more, but there are two issues that we have to keep to the fore of all of our discussions, because we cannot allow the opposition to wiggle out of it. And those are the issue of Taiwan versus China, and this your passport selling. We have to always keep those issues at the forefront of the discussion because these are two critical, pivotal, important, significant, whatever adjective you want to use. Extremely important issues that I think can determine the direction our country takes. You know, they have the index, the passport index, right, of the value of passports. And one of the things that they look at, one of the indicators is the number of countries you could travel to visa free. The number of countries you can travel to visa free. But the challenge with that is that while you have a number of countries you can travel with visa free, and sometimes you gotta look at the countries as well too. And by that I mean, are the countries that even the citizens travel to? The majority of the countries that we travel to are in Europe and North America. I mean, we could go tomorrow and sign visa-free agreement with Djibouti, you know what I mean, and Micronesia, and Papua New Guinea, and run up to 170 something, you know, run up to a number of countries visa-free. But I mean, does that really add to the value of the country, to the passport? Does it really? I know St. Vincent Grenadines passport has value because I know if it didn't, the passport sellers ain't go and get a hand on it like as much as they do. Because they already recognize that a lot of the existing states in our region are having trouble with immigration officials in different countries, especially the EU. Especially the EU. So I know we have value. I know your passport have value. I don't need an index to tell me that. And as someone who has traveled on our passport to a number of countries, I do have an issue. You know, the most trouble I had traveling was when I went to Georgia, the country close to Azerbaijan, Turkey, Azerbaijan where I studied. And clearly, they had never seen the passport before. Listen, I was held up for almost an hour entering, and I was held up for almost an hour leaving. And it was frustrating, especially when I was leaving. I'm like, I'm leaving your country. Why are you holding me up? I'm leaving. I could understand you doing all of that when I'm coming in. But I'm leaving. Held up for almost an hour. Well, maybe now if I go back to Georgia, it would not have a problem. Because after all, living on security council and that kind of thing now, so things should be different. But I've never had a problem. I've gone to Africa. I've gone to Asia. I've gone to South America. Never had a problem with my passport. Except, of course, I said 2014, Georgia. Our passport is a valuable item. And so we must continue to insist that anyone who has the honor and privilege of putting that in their front pocket must first of all develop the relationship necessary to earn that honor and privilege. I don't know if some of them might put it in their back pocket and maintain other passports in the front pocket. That's them. But to earn the privilege of flashing a Vinci passport, you have to do what you have to do. You have to establish that link. You have to establish that relationship. And we have to insist on that. Those who think that they can turn the situation of citizenship into a facility, go right ahead. If you want to turn the idea, was not idea, the reality rather of citizenship, the relationship of citizenship that wants you to have with a country that enables them all of the rights and courtesies, things like passport and so forth. If you want to turn that into a facility, then that's on you. But I like the fact that our government continues to insist that it remain a relationship. And that's what it is. So that's what it is. I think it's a good time to take a break, Denny, during which time I might slip out. Because remember this morning we said the press conference. And so I have a few things I need to do and put in place for that 10 a.m. press conference. So I may have to leave Denny for him to continue. But by the way, tomorrow morning at 8:30, we have in studio with us. Remember, we talking with Vincentian artists and Vincentian musicians, right? So last week we had the Kingpin himself. Well, no, he actually Nookie Man. Because the Kingpin is Gail. we had James P on last week, and we had a fantastic program with James P last week. Tomorrow morning, we would be having the brother-sister duo of Christian and Sarah Mack. They'd be on tomorrow morning with us 8:30 as we continue to promote Vincentian artists, Vincentian music during this Independence Month. All right, so that promises to be a really good one. So make sure you're ready for it. We'll take a break. When we come back, it'll be you and Denny.
Let us forge ahead as we celebrate our 44th anniversary of independence with our slogan, our resilience, our fortitude, our people, our identity.
SVG, my homeland.
Road to 45. Let us move with love as we participate in various activities and events listed on our independence calendar. For the entire month of October, there will be gospel events, military parade, best village competition, Vibe Out community activities, motorsports, cultural and sporting events, along with other activities. Whatever you do, let us celebrate our independence in fine style as we move on the road to 45. Happy Independence to St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
More reasons to play this game. More money for way. Super 6 a bigger jackpot game.
$280,000. That's the Super 6 jackpot from midday Tuesday, October 24th. It's $280,000.
More jackpot money. More reasons to play this game. More money for way. Super 6 a bigger jackpot game.
Out with the old, in with the new. In the past, you complained when we failed. We listened and went back to the drawing board. At last, a new, fresh beginning. A fresh face, a new product. International Standard Metals A792 presents Galvaloon, an aluminum roofing metal, branded best used for roofing material, tested and proven to be of superior quality. Get wider coverage for the best prices on the island. We offer a variety of colors, including zinc sheets. Also, take advantage of our unique roofing patterns, U-panel, industrial, and crimp Spanish style. Visit us at the Diamond Industrial Estate. Call us at 784-456-9900 or email bmlsvg@gmail.com. Galvaloon, a product of International Standard Metals.
Your dream house, renovating or updating, we supply high-quality engineered hardwood flooring, luxury vinyl planks, and a wide assortment of stylish trims. We also supply wall and floor tiles and tiling-related products. How about your staircase? We have railings, posts, spigots in metal, stainless steel, wood, and glass to make your staircase a centerpiece. We offer personalized selection and shipping service from Canada to SVG. Contact Marlon on WhatsApp at 289-200-7649 or District Stairs on Facebook.
At the People's Pharmacy, we've put our mission at the center of our name. We are people-centered, and every day we renew this commitment to providing products and services that help our valued customers lead healthier and happy lives. The People's Pharmacy fills prescriptions promptly and accurately, and also offers a wide range of vitamins and supplements, plus generic medication for everything from an upset stomach to the common cold. We offer toiletries and baby care items, skin care and hair care items too. All that coupled with a friendly, knowledgeable, and efficient staff to ensure customer satisfaction every time you shop. The People's Pharmacy offers extended opening hours, 8 in the morning to 8 p.m., Mondays through Saturdays. For more information, give us a call at 456-1170. The People's Pharmacy. We go further to serve you better.
General Hardware still has the best prices on steel, lumber, and plywood. So go on, compare prices. And if by chance you find a better price, no stress. Just talk to the General, and they will beat that price plus give you special priority delivery. Yes, General Hardware offers free island-wide delivery on most purchases, so you never have to worry about getting your goods on site on time. Plus, shopping at General Hardware is a pleasant experience with friendly, knowledgeable staff always ready to serve. What more could you wish for, huh? So come to General Hardware for proper service, lowest prices, free delivery, and see why nobody beats the General. Nobody.
Tuesday, October 24th, there'll be thousands of dollars to be won. A lotto jackpot of $256,000. A new home, car, or that college education.
Lotto, you have to be in it to win it.
Next lotto jackpot, $256,000.
Vibe out with expressions of empowerment as we hit 7 communities across SVG with sports, culture, and entertainment. Come be a part of the action as we celebrate our 44th anniversary of independence with these sporting, cultural, and entertaining activities in Beckway, Georgetown, Callioquo, Layou, Barrowley, Kingstown, and Chateaubelair. Activities will be held daily from Monday, October 23rd from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. nightly with the grand finale on Sunday, October 29th from 10 a.m. at the Clive Tennis Hard Court. Vibe out